Zoe here. Today I'm really excited to talk to you because I'm going to be doing an au pair Q&A. I asked you guys to ask me questions on Instagram and Facebook, so I've gathered up a lot of really helpful questions and frequently asked questions that I feel like could help you if you're considering being an au pair, or maybe it will even spark the idea to be an au pair. So let's get started. So, first question. Do you know safe au pair websites for the first au pair experience? I personally used Au Pair World and I found it extremely user-friendly, easy to use, very safe. It's safe in the way that the families requesting to have an au pair and have access to all of the au pair profiles have to pay money and actually have to do a little bit of a security check beforehand. And there is all the information on the security section of their website. So I'll link the website below and a direct link to the security section because it is free for anyone interested in being an au pair and creating a profile to join, but the families do pay for the service. So that's personally the website I use, but in regards to safety again, I'd say that if you do find a family that you feel is a good fit for you, make sure that you FaceTime them or Skype them a couple of times just to get a feel for who they really are. I mean, that's kind of a given, but I just think to have that in mind when you are going through the process. Just try and get on Skype or FaceTime and make that connection that you can right away so that you're not wasting your time speaking over the internet to somebody. Next question, do you need a visa to be an au pair? So as a Canadian, yes, I did need a visa to move to Italy for a year. I applied for the working holiday visa and I do have a playlist all about moving to Italy below, so I'll link that as well, and I'll also link the video I have to my working holiday visa and the process that I took to get it. So it depends where you live in the world. I know that as a Canadian, Aussies and those living in New Zealand, I believe, also have the same opportunity as I do to apply for this working holiday visa, which is 1 year. In regards to other countries in the world, if you are a part of the European Union, you can move and live freely throughout that. So you guys have it good. But for everyone else, I definitely recommend looking into that because that's something that you're really going to want to get for yourself. You're going to want to do this process legally. I know that there are a lot of risks of being in a country and working illegally. For example, if I didn't obtain this visa and I decided to stay longer and for some reason I got caught, say at the airport on my way home, 5 years down the road or whenever it may be, then I have the possibility of getting an illegal immigrant stamp on my passport and not being allowed into Italy again. And for me, that would be a nightmare. So yeah, make sure that you look into that and make sure that you do things legally because yeah, that's the best way to do it. So next question is, what is your typical daily routine with the kids like? So all families are different. I do have a few au pair friends who have told me about their schedules and they vary here and there. My routine is that I get up and help the kids get ready for school. So before that, I generally wake up quite a bit earlier and do my workout and shower, and then I'm up with them, help them get ready for school for about an hour, and then I have the day while they're at school to do my freelance work and explore and do whatever I like to do. And then after they get home from school, I'm there, I hang out with them, I speak English with them, we play, and then their mother, my host mother, she will make dinner for them and I'll help her out with that and I'll help her with cleaning. And then after the kids have been put to bed, I'll eat. In Italy, we eat a bit later, probably different than most parts of the world. Then I'm off to bed. Do you feel you have enough time to explore Rome? Honestly, I feel like I could live here for my entire life and never have enough time in Rome. I'm consistently out and about exploring and learning new things and going on tours, and every time I learn something new about Rome, I realize how much I actually don't know about Rome. And I truly need a lot more lifetimes to live here in Rome to know everything. But for the schedule-wise, yes, I do believe that I have enough time to explore Rome. I always have Saturday, Sundays off, and that gap in between the day, and also like later in the evenings if I wanted to go out for say a drink with friends or go meet up with them later for a movie, I do have that time. So I do feel like yes, I do have enough time to explore Rome as much as I would like to. Is your living space separated from your host family home? So I live downstairs. I do have a room tour, which I show you guys my room and my bathroom, so I'll link that below as well. So I have, yes, my own room and my own bathroom. And they're not connected, but they're right beside each other. I definitely recommend, if you're the type of person who likes your privacy, is to ask those types of questions. So the family does live upstairs, and like I said, I live downstairs. So my room is there, the bathroom is there, and there's also a small den, and then there is this upstairs. So I do feel like I definitely have my own privacy, and I'm very lucky and grateful for that, because I know some other au pairs who don't have the same experience. And if that's something that you think that you would really value, then don't settle for anything less. Same thing goes with if there's a place in mind that you really want to live. So mine was Rome, and even though I placed that into my profile, I had families contact me from all over Italy asking if I wanted to come live with them. And for about a week, I was distracted looking at all these amazing places, but Rome truly had my heart, so I just kind of stuck to that I really, truly wanted to live in Rome, and I wasn't going to settle for anything less. I just wasn't going to respond to the families and kind of string them along a little bit, because Rome had my heart and I wanted to make sure that this is where I was. Do they pay for your travel? So no, they do not pay for my travel, but I have not traveled with them. I know before becoming an au pair, I'd hear all these stories about, the au pair family takes you away to all these extravagant places all over the world. That's not my experience, and that's not the experience that I was looking for. So if that's what you're looking for, then ask the family if they go on vacations and if you're welcome to come and things like that. And I'm sure if my family was going on a vacation, they would love to have me along, and I'd love to help out with them. They are going on a ski vacation, but I'm actually planning my own vacation during that time. So yeah, I mean, don't expect that, and make sure that if that's something that you're interested in, that you're asking those questions, because you don't want to get caught off guard or have this whole big fantasy built up in your head and not have it be a reality. Did you take a vacation from au pairing when you went to Paris and Copenhagen and Amsterdam? So Paris was my birthday weekend, so I actually took a flight from Rome to Paris just for the weekend. That's the nice thing I found about being an au pair in Europe, is that it can be very cheap to travel from country to country, whether it be by train or plane. And so yeah, I'm super grateful that I was able to spend my birthday in Paris. Super cool. That was my first time in Paris. I'll leave the vlog below if you guys haven't checked it out. And when I went to Copenhagen and Amsterdam, so that was over Christmas. So my family and the children had a Christmas break, which was 2 weeks, and I was free to go and travel and spend time with my family in Denmark, so that was wonderful as well. That might be a question that you want to ask too. So if you really value being at home for Christmas or being with your family at Christmas, or you desire to say go skiing at Christmas, make sure that you ask your host family if you're going to have that time off, so that you can make plans around it before. Like I said, you don't want to build up a fantasy in your mind of all these amazing things you're going to get to do if your schedule does not allow for it. Next question. What are the kids like? Do you speak English with them? And if so, did they already speak English well before? So the boys that I'm watching, they just turned 6 and they're so sweet. They're twins. And it is just such an amazing experience to watch them grow. I feel like when I did go away for 2 weeks and I came back, they're already so much bigger. And they're so sweet. One of them's losing his teeth right now. And just the opportunity to watch them grow is just amazing. And they're just like my little brothers, and I just love them so much. They're so sweet. And they do speak English fluently. It's amazing to see that they are so well with language so young. So their mother is actually from Venezuela, and she speaks Spanish to them, and the father is Italian and speaks Italian to them, and I, the au pair, speak English with them. And it's just amazing to see how well they've adapted with the languages and practiced the languages. And there'll be times when I'm just watching them play and they're speaking English amongst each other, because they do feel very confident and very comfortable in the English language. So that's very interesting to see, and their little accents are obviously so adorable. Yeah, so make sure that if you say are coming to a new country that speaks another language and you want to know how well the kids are with their English or with their French, if that's your, I guess if you're watching this video, you probably speak English, but make sure you ask those questions if you feel like it's something that you would really like to know. Do you have a curfew? No, I do not have a curfew, but I feel like maybe some au pairs do, depending on where you enter the house, and maybe it might wake people up, things like that. Just be courteous, don't go out until 3 in the morning if it's a work day the next day for the parents and you have to work yourself. I just feel like that's kind of irresponsible. So I wouldn't recommend doing something like that, but I'd recommend asking if you do have a curfew, because that's a good question to ask. Do you eat meals with your host family? So I eat breakfast and lunch by myself as I'm here in the daytime without the family. Generally the kids eat their own dinner and then I'll eat with the parents later, or if they're eating something that maybe I don't necessarily eat, I'll make my own dinner because I am vegan. It just depends what's going on that day or what's happening. But with the au pair program, in exchange for watching the kids, you receive room, board, and then also some money on top of that. And that also leads me to another frequently asked question, is how much money do you make? And I make between 75 and 100 euros per week in cash. So that is definitely a question you're going to want to ask as well, because I also commonly get the question and have it written down here, do you make enough money to have a sustainable life in Rome, or would you recommend saving up money or having another job on the side? So personally, I do freelance digital marketing work, which means that I have a few clients that I work with on the computer. So I have another few streams of income coming in. I do spend a lot of my cash going out to eat and spending time on the weekends doing fun things, but you can always do things cheap because there's free tours, things like that. Definitely look into the city that you are in, and definitely consider the fact if you want to go on those weekend getaways and do those things, because if you feel like you are the type of person who just really grabs onto life and wants to do as many things as possible, then yes, you're going to want to have some money saved up, and regardless, you're going to need to have to build a responsible budget for yourself. Does your host family know about your YouTube channel? And if so, what do they think about it? So yes, my host family knows about my YouTube channel, and they actually knew about it before I told them about it, which I think is really cool because they were obviously really interested in, is this person legit? And took the time to Google me and research me. What you see is what you get with me. As you guys know, this is me, this is Zoe. I'm on YouTube, share my life with you guys. So if the family were to watch me on YouTube and not like me or not like the fact that I'm on YouTube, then we wouldn't get along. So I think it's great that my family did the research beforehand. And it was actually pretty sweet because the first day that I was here, my host mother, she's very enthusiastic about my YouTube channel. So she's like, where do you think you're gonna film the videos? Do you think you could film them here or here? And I'm filming them from the window right now, so I have a nice space. So that leads me to my next question, which is, when do you film your videos? So like I said, I have that space in the middle of the day to do my freelance work, go explore, do the things that I wanna do. So I actually film my videos most of the time on Fridays. I'll film 3-4 videos, however many videos I feel inspired to make, and that's the time that I make them. So next, what is your best advice for the au pair experience? My best advice is your attitude determines your altitude. So being in a new environment, you're going to run into challenges. For example, I had multiple challenges running around doing the paperwork when I first got here for the visa process. There's challenges with the language, there's challenges with the different culture. If you have a positive attitude about these things, and say the bus doesn't come because the bus system is a little bit different than it is in Italy versus Toronto, where I came from. The sirens are a little bit sounding different too, if you can hear that. But anyway, so for example, the bus system could be frustrating to some people, but I feel like I take that as a charming part of Italy. You know, you can't expect these things to happen, and it's just a whole part of the learning experience. It's a whole part of the culture experience of being in a different place. If you have a hard day and somebody doesn't understand you when you're trying to ask for directions, or you get lost, or you wind up having to take a night bus home and getting home at 3 a.m. on a trip that would have normally taken you like half an hour, 45 minutes, it might suck at the time, but don't let it get to you, because it's all the learning experience, and you're doing the au pair experience for a full-on cultural experience. This is why you're living with a family, is so that you can get all aspects of the culture from a family perspective and just a fresh eyes perspective. So I'd say if you're gonna have a positive attitude, it can be the best experience ever for you. I also just wanna touch on, I know that some au pairs worry, what if you get to know the family, or you get there and you guys don't get along and it's not a good fit? If it's not a good fit, for example, in Rome, there's a Au Pairs in Rome Facebook page where families are on it, au pairs are on it, constantly posting, you know, get-togethers, which is great because there's a lot of social things that go on in the au pair community. But also a lot of families will post, I'm looking for an au pair, or au pairs will post, I'm looking for a new family, and you will get snatched up right away. I can promise you that. If you are unhappy with the family that you're with and you just wholeheartedly feel like it's really not where you're supposed to be, you can find yourself a new family. So don't worry about that. If you get there and within 2 weeks you're just really unhappy and want to move to another family, Don't stress, it happens. I've known people who have done this, and I promise you it will work out. Like I said, your attitude determines your altitude. Be positive, and it will be an amazing experience for you, and you will find everything that you need to find. Final question, would you do it again? Personally, I don't think that I would do it again. Not because I'm not enjoying this experience and not because it's not for me. The reason why I don't think that I will do this again is because I am 25 years old now. Not saying that's too old or too young to be an au pair or anything like that, but the way that I am progressing in my life now, the next step for me, I would really like to live on my own in a foreign country. So that's the next step that I'm really striving for. That is my big audacious goal of 2017, is to be able to live and work independently in a foreign country. So that's what I'm really striving for to do in 2018. So that means that not living with a family, living by myself and having my own place. So that's just where I am in my life, but maybe that's different for you. And maybe you're 28 or maybe you're 18. It really doesn't matter. However you feel like you are in your life and you're on your journey and you're striving to do all those things you want to do, then yeah, that's awesome. I know people who have done the au pair for 3 rounds, 4 rounds, and they're just living the dream because they're hopping from country to country and experiencing so many amazing things and getting to know so many different families that they have these connections all over the world, and it's amazing. So this experience can truly be whatever you want it to be, and I am so grateful that I personally have had this experience. It's granted me so many things, and I'm sorry I'm rambling right now, but like, for example, I'm just thinking back to when I was working in the corporate world in Toronto, and I was working quite a bit. And I remember thinking to myself, I don't understand how a family is going to fit into this life of mine and this lifestyle of mine. I don't understand how if I'm at the office from, 8:30 to 6, 7, I get home. I don't understand how I'm ever going to be able to get married, spend time with my husband, have children. I just couldn't see that. So children was something in my mind that I knew that I always wanted, but I just couldn't understand how it would fit. But now, after living with a family and just getting to know the boys and watching them grow, and I know definitely, wholeheartedly, I want to have children one day. And I know that I want to make it a priority in my life rather than seeing, if it will fit into the future. It is going to fit into my future. And yeah, if you guys want to stick around for the whole journey of my life, you can definitely hit that subscribe button down below, and I'm so happy to have you. And in addition to that, if you do have any more questions, I'd be happy to answer them. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope this video helped you and maybe inspired you to do the au pair lifestyle yourself. Like I said, I did a few playlists, I'll link below for additional information and information on Italy, things like that. So thank you guys again, and I love you, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!